Welcome to Sinister Scripts podcast, where we watch all the horror movies you know and love, some you've never heard of. And today we are joined by a special guest. We've got Dom. How do I pronounce your last name? I want to make sure I get it right.
It's Penna.
Penna. Okay, I was
Yeah.
I was right. I was right all along. All right,
Yep, you're
we've
right.
we've got Dom Penna joining us today, and we are going to talk with him about his new horror short that drops tomorrow. No, 2 days. Today's Wednesday, Friday
Yeah.
the 13th, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's Underbelly,
Nice.
and it's an 8-minute horror supernatural short that we had the opportunity to watch. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit just about your journey in independent film and acting. Actually, started following Dom on TikTok of all places, just doing horror content, and then started following that he had a short and had plans for much bigger projects. So we're just going to chat with him for a bit. So welcome and thanks for joining us, Dom.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm excited to talk horror with you guys.
Yeah, so tell me just a little bit about like how did you get into horror? Like where did you start? Were you like that kid that watched something too young that he shouldn't have and then it just kind of stuck?
Pretty much, yeah. The first horror film I ever saw was about like seven or eight. My stepdad showed me Nightmare on Elm Street, and scared shitless. And I was like, Freddy Krueger really made me literally, piss the bed. That dude's, and then for some reason it was like a fascination, like a car crash. So I couldn't look away, and I wanted to see more. And for them, horror has been my absolute favorite. I've always loved it. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm fucked up in the head, and I like gore, and I like to see people get killed.
Nothing
But
wrong
yeah,
with
I don't know.
that.
It's always been, yeah. It was like once you see it, you're like, I would need to see more, especially as a kid. It's like extra forbidden too, so it like makes it a little more crazy when you actually do see it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean horror is a pretty like divisive genre. There's so much to it and like so much of the roots like I know we're in like June and we're talking about Pride Month. So much of it is like based in so many different, like influences, I'll say. And like, you
Yeah,
got people that are, like I said, just the genres alone from found footage to slashers to supernatural to possession to, I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's like there's something for everyone. And that's why I love that how subjective it is. And some people are like, you get that, you go live and you're like, what's your favorite horror movie? And then you're like, you get so many answers and then like I love that movie, that movie's shit, I love that movie's shit. So it's like I love the constant just banter and back and forth between what everyone loves about horror and it means something different to everyone. I mean that's kind of how I got into it. Same kind of thing I got in my aunt is a big Bela Lugosi fan, like black and white Dracula, the original like Universal monsters, and kind of started there. Probably watching some stuff. Now that stuff is far and away different than like the gore that we have today and like the extreme horror. But that's kind of how I got into it. And so I mean, I know David's probably the same way. I feel like all of us horror fans have a little bit of a screw loose, but
Yeah,
that's what makes us all special, I suppose.
usually starts at a young age for sure. You watch something you weren't supposed to see, or even like hear stuff from kids at the playground. Like everybody knew who like Chucky and Freddy was, even if you never seen the movies as a kid. You
Right.
knew who they were, so you could just build that mythos inside yourself until you
Right.
actually get to see it.
Right. So so Freddy scared you growing up. Was that your favorite horror movie or what is your favorite horror movie?
that it's my favorite. Freddy Krueger's my all-time favorite horror movie villain. I'm sure nostalgia plays a role when it's your first seeing something and it really impacted you as a kid, like when you would actually get scared shitless from a movie.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I don't think most people who watch horror get scared per se. They just like it or they find something messed up in it. They don't really get terrified. But yeah,
Right.
Nightmare on Elm Street's still my favorite. And Freddy is just the way I mean, he's a pedophile at the end of the day. And like
Yeah.
Robert Englund was so talented that he made you, drawn towards a pedophile who's like charismatic, crazy, his dark
Yeah.
humor, everything. So, it's kind of weird when you think about it, but there's something about him that he's just so badass.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his too. I thought that I always have to go back between like the original like between there was like Freddy, Jason, and Michael. I feel like those were like your three, and then you kind of got Chucky in there. I was always
Yeah.
more of a Michael guy, and then Freddy, and then Jason. But I mean, I'm not going to turn any of them down. But
No.
anyway,
Yeah.
but anyway, so I wanted to kind of segue into your film a little bit, and first talk to me about how you got into acting.
Um, yeah, this is the second time I've ever acted in my life, for this. I basically wrote myself in because I wrote this one and my other short actually I filmed before this, but
Hmm.
this one came out. So this is the second time I ever acted. So I basically wrote myself into it. So that's how I got into acting. I hired myself.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
what made you want to be an actor? Like, what made you decide, like, this is something I want to try out? Like, your face
Um,
was seen on TikTok, like, doing funny
yeah.
stuff and horror stuff and all kinds of stuff. So, like, what made you think, you know what, this is kind of what I want to try my hand at?
I wanted to, try it out. Like it's acting's. I've always like thought about it in the back of my head, like, oh, it'd be cool to portray, character, play someone else instead of yourself.
Mhm.
And I said, why not give it a try? We'll see how. And I love it now, and I like got lost in it, and it was like a really euphoric experience. Like it's really hard to like being on set when you're actually acting is like a really weird experience, but it's awesome. And it was like really freeing, where you can just clear your mind, you just focus on one task, and you don't even think like yourself. So it was a very freeing experience, and I really enjoyed it, and I really want to do more going forward in the future.
Gotcha. So
Nice.
so like the first place, like hiring yourself is one thing. Like you're like, I got the role, yay, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, have you started like doing stuff like reading for other roles, like looking for roles in
Oh
other
yeah,
small films
yeah,
already?
yeah, yeah. I already partially filmed in a upcoming short film. I got to finish my stuff in July, so I got that, and then I have a couple other projects in the works that I'm working on that I have to do a lot of time towards. But I'm definitely going to be trying to look for roles and audition for stuff that I'm not involved with going forward as well.
Gotcha. So talk us
Nice.
through that process, like what it's like doing that and like going in, like reading, like is it like 10 seconds? Is it real quick, like read these lines and then like we'll call you and let you know? Like talk us through that a little bit.
Nothing's done in person at all anymore. It's
Oh,
all
okay.
literally online. Like you just like you go on like Facebook stuff or like Actors Access or one of those
Hmm.
casting sites, and then you apply for the role with headshots, and if they want you, then they'll send you sides where like it's like like a page of what your character is, and you send in a video. But how I got this role, I got literally just got a call from someone I know. They're like, hey, they need an actor. They saw your headshot. They want to cast you, and I was like, okay, cool. So it was kind of weird how that worked. I didn't even look for this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's funny because like you think I the only thing I remember recently, like what was it? Was it Pearl when she was like reading for the line? Like everyone's waiting in line and they're reading for the roles, like Mia
Yeah.
Goth, and I was like, is this really what people do? And they're like, as I talk to more and more indie directors, indie actors, and they're like, nah. Like it's like a lot of people like who and like getting in with the right people and meeting
Yeah.
people, networking, going to film festivals, getting your photos out there, putting something on film, like you said, like whether it's a short or a proof of concept or
Yeah,
whatever it
getting a
is.
reel. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can kind of you submit that around, and if they like you, it's just it's funny how that's changed, and I think a lot of that is how social media and is changed in
Hmm.
general. So it's like transformed film overall. So that's interesting to hear. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice how social media is, you get a lot more opportunities these days for whatever you're doing, it seems like, because you can just put a video out or do whatever. So it's kind of cool.
Hmm.
gotcha. So all right, well let's talk about Underbelly because it was funny, like I saw director Patrick had his film The Path that was out, and a
Yeah.
few people like in the Horde Talk community have had some films come out, and so I was excited when I saw yours pop up, and of course I had to reach out and be like, all right, let's check this out. And so thank you for sending that over, and I thought it was a really fun watch. I actually really enjoyed
Yeah.
the film. For those of you listening or watching, it's kind of a mob tale interwoven with some supernatural, where a hitman goes to take care of his business, and things kind of go off the rails a little bit. So,
Yeah.
like, just talk to me about how you came up with the idea and kind of what your goal was for it. If what some of the challenges were, just kind of like talk me through
Yeah.
the process of kind of the creation of that. Did it come quick or did
Yeah.
it take a while?
It kind of just came to me. It's very short. Like the script is very short because it's only 8 minutes long.
Right.
I was writing a feature script, and the opening scene was Underbelly, except for minus the possession part.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to tie up the short film. That wasn't originally what I wanted to do, but I was trying to tie up a full story in within the 8 minutes. I kind of just spoiled it, but whoops, it doesn't matter. Basically, I my two favorite genres are horror and mob, so I was like, there's not really any, to my knowledge, mob horror films that I know of. There could
Mm-mm.
be, but I think
No.
there's like mobsters versus zombie strippers or something where
Something. Yeah. Something lame like
yeah,
that.
it's something real bad. So I wanted to do something cool to really try to turn it into a horror or supernatural, paranormal, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So I brainstormed it. This is originally going to be the opening scene for the feature. Then I was like, I think this would be a cool proof of concept short film, to really play with it to see if it's actually going to work. And I think it worked. It was very low budget. When we filmed it, it was very windy. It was early November, A little cold up here in Buffalo. It was freezing. We're in the middle of the night. It was a night shoot. So it was real windy and like everything was working, sometimes a little bit of rain, but we got it done. And I just want to shout out the other actor as well, Maddie. He did a fantastic job. He's
Yeah.
actually in my other film, The Chauffeur, and he's a fantastic actor. And then Taylor Martin directed it. She did a great job, and everyone, the cast and crew, they all made it come to life because you're always going to experience some type of weather, whatever on set, but you got to make it work. And I'm really happy
Mhm.
with the product, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
I thought so
Oh,
too.
thank you.
I really enjoyed that. I'm always impressed when, especially when you come to short films, because you only have, 4 or 5, 8, 10, 12 minutes. You get into some longer ones. You don't have a whole lot. You can't build a lot of character. You can't build a lot of
Nope.
backstory. Even dialogue in a lot of these is limited because how much story are you going to be able to tell with that? So I'm always impressed at how much people and yourself in this one, for example, is able to kind of convey like the shortened storytelling. And at the same time, like people have short attention spans these days. Like you
Of
got to get
course.
someone to pay attention, and if they're like, the first 7 minutes is boring, like, like if you're almost at the end of the
Yeah.
movie, like, so it's like
You're right.
I'm always impressed at how much you're able to kind of convey with lighting, with sound, with just the acting alone. The acting has to be good, and that's what I feel like. It's like, for example, you have a feature film, you have a whole lot of story and a whole lot of character to kind of develop that character. You have to be that hitman and you have to make it believable immediately.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always, I'm always impressed, and it's always a challenge. One of the things I was going to ask you about was kind of the challenges, and it sounds like the weather was one. And
Yeah.
David's going to hear me like harp on this every time I talk to a person in doing acting, directing, filming, any other stuff. I can forgive like bad lines. I can forgive some, shaky camera, but if the sound is bad, I'm turning that shit off immediately. And so like I was always asking like what's the one thing, like I know you're just starting out. People are like that you want to like make sure you don't scrimp on, and if everybody's always like sound, because if people can't hear it, like you've
Yeah.
lost them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that because if it sounds like it was filmed underwater in terms of the audio, it's like, what is the point of this?
Exactly. Exactly. So, with the other actor, Matt and Taylor, did you know them already, or did you go out looking for people to kind of, to direct and act alongside you?
Taylor, I found them before this, the summer previous. Um, she directed The Chauffeur, and Maddie is one of the leads in The Chauffeur. He plays one of the villains. I don't want to spoil any of that, but
Sure.
so basically, it went so well with that I'm like, hey, I had this thing. You want to, you gave him the script. I'm like, would you want to do this? And gave it to her as well. And then, yeah, we were like, let's do it. Let's team up and do another one. Ride the fun we had on Chauffeur, which is a way bigger thing than this was. It was, tenfold
Yeah.
in terms of the magnitude of the set and everything. But yeah, I got fortunate enough that I met Taylor through a local Facebook like Buffalo film community type of deal,
Awesome.
and
Okay.
yeah, so built the connection that way. And she knew Maddie from working. He's from Canada.
Okay.
He's like a voice actor, and he teaches at a university. He's really talented.
Oh wow.
Nice. So
Yeah.
I was curious, who did the special effects? Because there's one scene, I'm not going to ruin it, but there is a little bit of
Yeah.
effects. So I'm curious.
Yeah, his name is John Renna. It's in the credits. He's fantastic. He also did the special effects for the chauffeur. That's how I got to meet him. But yeah, it's crazy how that stuff comes about when you like see it behind the scenes and then how it looks on camera after. Like
Right.
I thought it was like really effective.
It
I don't
definitely
know how you guys
was.
felt. I thought it looked
Yeah.
real.
Well, I was
Yes.
kind of watching it. I'm like, okay, we're like, mob, and then like that kind of one scene where
Hmm.
Yeah.
you're like, I was just like, oh, I did not see it coming. I was just kind of like, oh shit,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, and
Okay, good.
I remember I was watching it and in my office, and like my TV's kind of in the corner, and I was laying on the bed, and so it's kind of a weird angle, and so like I remember sitting up and I was like, this looks really good. Like it looked like, I don't want to like, I'm not a professional film critic, but I
Yeah.
watch a shit ton of horror, and I have seen the fucking Zombievers which with the terrible effects, and I have seen other stuff with great effects, and I was really impressed. I was like, this looks really good, and then like the
Yes.
whole tone of the movie like really shifted there, and I was just like, okay, this is like a really nice like turning point in the movie. So yeah, job well done to your special effects people. They did a great work.
Hmm.
Yeah, and props to Maddie for having all the, we're not going to spoil it, but we're not going to say where it is, but shit
Yes,
glued on them and this and that and everything else. So
Yeah.
shout
exactly.
out to Maddie.
So did you finance this all by yourself, or did you do any like
I
crowdfunding or?
uh, I self-financed both shorts. Yeah.
Okay. Any plans to do like for bigger projects to do like some crowdfunding, any Indiegogo or anything like that?
Um, Actually, yes. I can't say anything about it right now, but all I can say is there is a feature in the works.
Nice.
It is also a collaboration with an individual that I think the horror community will know. So it's going to be exciting to share that going forward. I just got to keep it hush hush for right now. But
No,
yeah,
I,
that
I
and then I'm
Oh, of
yeah.
course.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I mean, geez, it sounds like you're like taking off into the like horror stratosphere right now, like riding high.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it hustling and plugging and try to
Listen,
turn this into a career one day.
yeah, it's a creative outlet, and I feel like everybody needs that. So that's awesome that you found that and have had, this, like I said, for a first film. I've talked to a lot of directors and people, and they're like, dude, my first film was so fucking, it was dog shit. I didn't even put it out. Like, I don't want anyone to ever see it. Like,
Hmm.
like for this to be like your first short to come out, like it was a job well done. So like,
Yeah.
um, I'm curious, what advice would you give people? Like if you're like so if someone me or anybody like as it sounds like you were pretty new to it, we're like, hey, I'm gonna give this a shot. Whether it's not just the act of writing the script because you did that all yourself, but then also like if they want to do the acting, like do you have any advice that
Yeah.
you would recommend that you're stuff you're finding out now that you're like, God, this sucks or that's great or this is easier and like little like tips and tricks of the trade.
Like for acting or just like starting out, like if you
Could
want to film something,
could be
anything.
anything, any of it.
Yeah, like let's just say like if you have a dream, whether it's like, writing a movie, acting or filming, directing, whatever the case may be, just do it. I would say like use the networking of social media or your local communities to try to find like-minded people that might know what you don't know. Like I don't know how to direct and all that stuff. I just wanted to write a movie and create it. And
Hmm.
I was lucky enough that I found people. So if you reach out like local Facebook groups or even on TikTok, there's so many people, there's so many resources at your fingertips. Just try to make the first step and really just go for it. Cause I was thinking about this for a while and, procrastination, one thing leads to another. And
Yeah.
I just
Right.
said, you know what, screw it. I just want to, whatever happens, I'm going to do it. At least I try to do it. So I would just say, just if it's your passion and you really want to do that, just you got to do it. Rip it off like a band-aid and just go for it. Because you never know. Time's life's short, and just fucking go for it.
It is
Right
fleeting.
on.
And when it comes to acting, like what do you any advice? I'm just thinking like do you like read lines in the mirror? Do you like all I think of is my daughter is 8 and we just watched Beetlejuice. I got her into Beetlejuice. So we watched the first one and then we just watched Beetlejuice last night and and the second one, you've seen it, right, Dom? Have you seen
Yeah,
Beetle?
I've
Okay.
seen it. Yeah.
What's his name? Willem Dafoe. When he's like
Oh God, yeah.
Oh
the
yeah.
actor, and he's like,
Yeah.
"You got to keep it real." Like, are you like in the mirror, like practicing your lines and
No.
shit?
No. No. I wish maybe I'll do that one day. But I just read it. It's a lot easier to act when I was the one writing it because it's like I already know what's going on because I wrote it, so it was like
Hmm.
repetition from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made it easier. But the stuff that I recently did like a couple weeks ago, I did this part in a short that I got to
Yeah.
finish. The lines weren't too crazy. It's just like knowing the lines, and I don't really practice how I'm going to do it wherever I feel in the moment. I just
Hmm.
do it like I just whatever the tone I want to do. I mean, I'm still new to this, so I just do it the way I know how. Like I never took an acting class, never did anything, so
Right.
I'm just
Right.
trying
Yeah.
to be natural with it and whatever I feel.
Okay.
If that makes any
You
sense.
should.
Yeah.
I feel like I can see a blooper reel in your TikTok future, like a acting lines blooper reel, like like that'd be
Yeah.
like you do a lot of funny stuff on there already, so I'm like that'd be funny. But um, yeah, I was curious also what inspiration for Underbelly did like I know you said you wanted like a mob
Mhm.
horror, those were your two favorite genres. Are there any films that you pulled for like inspiration from or like I like the look, the feel of this?
Yeah. I don't know if you could tell, but there's a lot of that red tone from the taillights.
Yep.
That is directly inspired from Goodfellas, the one scene where they go back to dig up the body and it's all red and misty in the forest, wherever it was. That was definitely a huge.
Hmm.
I actually sent that scene over to Taylor. I was like, this is the tone I kind of want to go for this, like in
Yeah.
terms of the color grading and how it's going to look. So that was a huge one. And for horror, I didn't really have any inspiration for the horror. I just wanted to do something really fucking creepy. It was more like the mob was more. the main part of it, and I was trying to figure out a way how to intertwine the horror aspect. So I was more focused on the mob part, and like then I was like, okay, how am I going to mesh horror into this? That's how I
Gotcha.
was my approach for it was.
Right on. And you said so the chauffeur is this is you said is this is the begin like the intro or it was originally supposed to be. Is there any tie-in or is it completely separate?
This is completely separate,
Okay.
no relation.
Okay. And where are you at in that process?
Yeah, that one's a big one. That'll be 30 to 35 minutes. Like it's basically going to be a full story. It'll just be a shorter feature film, pretty much. They're going to be done with it with the editing. They're in post. They're almost done editing. So I'm probably have the final copy. Let me see, what is it, June 11th? So mid July, probably
Okay.
somewhere around there,
And
give
that's
or
the one
take.
that's the ride share from hell kind of storyline.
Yeah, basically, if you took an Uber and you ended up at a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of situation.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay.
Very gnarly, all practical, and there's one thing that's never to my knowledge, and I've asked around in the horror buffs, has never been done in a slasher before.
Ooh,
Ever.
all
Yes.
right.
All right, you heard it
Yeah.
here first. Yeah. That's awesome. That's my jam. I'm a big slasher fan, so I'm excited to see what you can
Hmm.
do with that cuz like you
Yes,
said, like
for
it's
real.
with I think back to like oh what was the one that the guy walking through the woods with like no dialogue. What fucking movie was that?
Oh, in a violent
Violent
nature.
Nature.
In a violent
Yeah.
nature, yeah.
Like that kill, the yoga scene, I was like, yo, that's never been like I've never seen anything like that. And
Yeah.
so like it's really hard because like you point like everything's been done. I mean, Jason's beat someone against within a sleeping bag against a tree. Like, you've got like
Yeah.
all very creative kills have mostly already happened, obviously. And then you got stuff like Saw and Terrifier, things that are like, up in the ante. And like, I mean, the entire Saw
Yeah.
franchise is basically based on like creative deaths. So,
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Final Destination too, you know?
yeah, yeah, like
Yep.
finding
Yeah.
something that you're like, hey, this hasn't been done or isn't like a derivative of something
Yeah.
that's already been done is tough. So, all right, well, I'm gonna have to be on the lookout for that then.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
yeah, I'm
amazing.
actually yeah, spoil some news here. It's going to be not really too much of a spoiler, but I haven't told anyone yet. So I'm going to be dropping the teaser trailer for the show for 2 weeks after Underbelly drops
Okay,
on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. David, you got any questions? I've been talking a lot. I feel like I've been taking over.
No,
Sorry.
man. I mean, you nailed what I was going to ask about. So,
Yeah, I just wanted to just hop on here and just kind of have a quick conversation. Didn't need to be extremely long. I'm excited to see kind of how far you've come quickly. Like I said, the first film, I was
yeah.
super impressed. For those of you listening and watching, like put it on your calendars. What time is it going to drop on Friday? Do you know?
Yeah, it premieres Friday, June 13th at noon Eastern Standard Time.
All right,
Okay.
so go out there and check out Underbelly. Like I said, 8 minutes, 8 minutes of your life. Check this out. It's a lot of fun and it has a twist I don't
Yes.
think a lot of y'all will see coming. And then I guess we'll be on the lookout here in a couple weeks after that for the teaser trailer for the chauffeur. So, Dom, tell everybody where they can find you on social medias. Shout your channel out. Shout your any websites, anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Underbelly's dropping this Friday the 13th on my YouTube channel, which is Horror Movie Mafia, and it's the same exact handle, Horror Movie Mafia, for TikTok and Instagram. So you can find me all on there. That's all my social handles. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right
Well,
on.
that's what I had. I thank you for joining us, Dom. Look on there, like I said, the Friday the 13th at noon Eastern. Check out Underbelly, and I'll probably post something on our TikTok as well, probably early in the day for Friday as a reminder. Like, go check it out. Try to drive up people out there and need to check it out, and we'll be looking forward to the chauffeur teaser as well. So,
Yes,
thanks for
sir.
joining us, Dom. I appreciate your
Yeah, man.
time.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me. It was fun. I enjoyed talking with you both.
Absolutely. Take
Absolutely,
care.
man.
Have a good day.
Take
All right.
care.
See ya.
All right. Bye.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.